Okay, so it's time for us to continue our coverage over Ultimate Spider-Man. And now we pick up with issue number 9. Now, I actually do have a small problem with this issue. And the reason why, because I kind of felt like we were supposed to get the actual Sinister Six in this issue. And sadly, we don't. Like, we do get one member at least, but not the entire team coming after Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. And so for me, this issue is kind of a letdown, but still somewhat decent because we still kind of build that bond between Peter Parker and the Green Goblin. And I already know that sooner or later, that bond is going to break for some kind of crazy reason. But either way, let's go ahead and continue our coverage over Ultimate Spider-Man. Now, we do pick up with J. Jonah Jameson and also Uncle Ben. Now, these two characters, they're very happy at the moment. And the reason why, because they were able to leave the Daily Bugle months ago and then be able to create their own paper called The Paper. And really, The Paper has taken off. Now, Mary Jane, she's also part of their crew. She's kind of like their promoter, getting the word out there so that people can begin to buy their paper physically or, of course, on their computers. Now, for Uncle Ben, he's kind of like, listen, we left the Daily Bugle to be able to cover some more serious stories that the Bugle does not even bother try to cover. And here we are right now just covering Spider-Man. And that tells us that the reason why they're so popular right now is because of Spider-Man. And for Uncle Ben, it's okay for right now, but sooner or later, they want to tackle the bigger stories, the dark secrets in the world that's being covered up right now at the moment. And so you have Uncle Ben and JJ being happy for the moment, but sooner or later, they got to tackle those bigger stories than Spider-Man. But now we have to jump over to Peter Parker and also Harry Osborn. Now, they were called over to the lab of Doc Ock. And here's the reason why. Because in an earlier chapter, we had talked about how Iron Lad, Tony Stark, his suit is connected to Peter Parker's suit, but also, well, Harry Osborn's suit as well. And so for Peter and Harry, they don't really like the idea of being connected to Iron Lad's suit, but also feeling like they're under his watch as well. And so for Doc Ock, he has been working on different ways to actually fix that problem. Now, for Harry Osborn, it was purely easy to fix his problem because remember, Harry Osborn and Doc Ock, they had created the Green Goblin suit out of old parts of Stark Tech. And so with them, all they had to do was install a few updates to block out Iron Lad from no longer being connected to Harry Osborn's suit. Now, for Peter, it was completely different because as we learned in the earlier chapter, Peter Parker's suit is really special in many kind of ways. And so for Doc Ock, he was not really able to say, you know what, I'll give you updates to turn off that connection. He had to do things a tad bit different. And so you have Doc Ock creating a brand new suit for Peter Parker. And of course, it is the Iron Spider suit. Now, for me personally, I kind of thought that we would see Peter Parker in the Iron Spider suit, but also using the suit as a way to fight against the Sinister Six. But you have Peter Parker say no. And here is the reason why. Because in an earlier chapter, Peter Parker and also Harry Osborn were both given AI systems. Now, for Peter, his AI is based off himself. For Harry Osborn, his AI is based off his father. But either way, you have Peter basically talking to, well, Peter. And so you have both Peters kind of wondering what to do with the Iron Spider suit. Now, for both Peters, they kind of don't like the idea of the Iron Spider suit because there's too much going on. For Peter Parker in this reality, he's a very simple man. He loves his current suit. And so he tells Doc Ock, no, I will not be taking your Iron Spider suit. Now for Doc Ock, he can't believe that he heard a no for once. But either way, you have Peter say, listen, I just love the basic idea of who I am, the basic Spider-Man suit. And so for Doc Ock, he does give Peter a brand new suit. It's just spandex, and that's really it. No extra tech at all. But now we have to jump back over to Uncle Ben and also J. Jonah and Jameson. Now, you have these two characters still at the paper just working, but we finally get an idea of what they're trying to work on. And we kind of find out that you have JJ and also Uncle Ben trying to dig into what happened when it came to the Stark and Stain Company. That really started off this whole entire event of the Ultimate Marvel Universe. So we're now kind of have to wonder what kind of secrets are these two characters actually going to find. But now we have to jump over to Peter Parker and also Harry Osborn. Now, for me personally, this was where the book kind of let me down because the cover of the book, you thought at first, like, oh, we're going to see Peter Parker and Harry Osborn fighting against the Sinister Six, but we don't. Instead, we actually get just Black Cat, and that is it. The weakest member of the actual group. For me personally, it kind of felt like this was a trial run for Peter and Harry when it comes to fighting against the Sinister Six. Like, give them the weakest one at first, and then down the road, they can face the stronger ones in the other books. Either way, when it comes to Black Cat, he was able to shoot a blast to shut down the suit of Harry Osborn. Now, for Peter Parker, he's actually lucky because let's not forget, he's now only wearing spandex. So right now, his suit cannot be shut down at all. And so you have Peter being able to continue on to fight against the Black Cat. Now, their battle does go on for a few more pages, but it gets to the point where it seems like the Black Cat is about to kill off Peter Parker. Now, luckily for Peter, you have Harry Osborn's suit come back online, where he's able to shoot Black Cat right off the rooftop. Now, onto the rooftop, and they're very high up, so he hits the ground very hard. And at first, they're kind of wondering if he is dead. But then Peter realized that he is moving. And so you have Peter say, hey, Harry, call an ambulance right now because that man is still alive and he needs help. Now, for Peter Parker, he's actually very upset with Harry because for him, Harry could have killed off Black Cat, and they're not killers. But you have Harry sit down with Peter Parker and begin to give him the life lesson like, hey, listen, I understand that you want to live by some kind of code, but in this kind of world, that code is not going to work out. You will not survive. It's him saying like, listen, if it gets to the point in the middle of one of our battles where it seems like you might die, if I have to kill somebody to save your life, I'm going to do that because you and I are best friends right now. But at the same time, I have to realize they are not going to hold back. So why should we? And so for Peter Parker, he kind of understands what Harry is saying. We already know for Peter, he still not be okay with the idea of somebody being killed in the battle. But for right now, for Peter, because Black Cat actually survived, it's kind of him forgiving Harry Osborn and let the two characters continue on with their friendship. But like I said earlier, sooner or later, that friendship is going to break. The question is now, when is it actually going to break? But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.